Hey, what's up, YouTube? Boswell back with another vlog for the Husband Code. In a lot of my vlogs, I talk about personal growth, and the viewpoint is that I always want to connect with my audience, who is the husbands out there, and definitely single men who are looking to be husbands or be in like long-term relationships, and but it definitely could go for anybody. But when it comes to personal growth and growth in general, to grow means to change. And when you changing, you change the relationship with yourself. And so this kind of brings me back to what I like to do when I see change in myself, and the example on how I see change in life. So I love to garden, right? One thing about gardening is it's taught me patience. It's taught me that there's going to be resilience, and it's taught me to change. Because when you're gardening, there's changing of the seasons. You got to be patient with the growth of everything. And there's rain, there's wind, there's things you need to be resilient about. But when it comes to gardening, when you before you even plant a seed in the ground, to be able to want to grow a plant or a vegetable or whatever you want to grow, you first got to have your foundation right. You got to have the right soil. You got to have it in the right position for sunlight. You got to have it where other plants don't interact with it, right? You got to have the right foundation for that seed to be successful to grow. And so once you get your right foundation down, then you can plant the seed, right? And you got to understand spacing. So once you plant that seed, another process starts. That's just the first process, getting the foundation. And so we can relate that to your life when you want to start to make a change. Do you got your foundation right? Again, I always talk about mindset and mind state. Do you got your mind right to be able to get ready to change? Or you at a place where, do you want to change? That's the first thing. It's setting that foundation. So the second thing is planting that seed, right? You got to know how deep you need to plant it. Again, you got to know if you got other plants in that garden, you got to know where to plant it so it don't get, another plant don't shade it out so it can't grow to its full potential, right? You got to know when to water that seed, how often. And even with that, the type of seed you planting, you got to know how long it's going to take before it actually come to harvest. And so that's the second thing, even when you plant the seed, right? So now you've got your foundation, and then you planted your seed. Planting your seed to yourself could be, are you planting the right information inside yourself, right? Are you listening to the right information? Are you reading the right information? Are you connecting with the right people to get the right information? Are you planting that seed to make sure that when it's planted in yourself, that it can start to grow the right way? And with that seed, are you watering it every day? Are you watering yourself every day? Meaning, are you doing the consistent things? Are you disciplined to come every day to make sure that it's watered, the right amount of water, and in a timely fashion? So as you start the second process of watering that seed, you got to fertilize it as well. You got to continuously feed it. And it's the same thing with yourself. Are you even eating the right foods, right? Are you giving yourself the right foods for right nourishment? So even after that, you have to watch for the bugs that may want to start to dig around and try to eat your seed up as it starts to grow, because you continuously fertilizing it and you watering it every day, right? You got to watch for all these different things. It could be a heavy, rainfall. it's just a lot that can happen even in the beginning that can mess your process up even before you even start to grow. So those things you got to watch out for, those pitfalls, those different insects and different things to kind of try to stunt your growth, right? Yeah. So let's say you make it past that first initial stages, and you consistently watering, you fertilizing, you clearing out the bugs from the beginning. Now you start to grow. Oh man, you starting to sprout. You're starting to sprout up through the soil. Okay. You can start to see some progress. Or you can see a little green poking through there. Okay, we're starting to grow. Right? But remember, you can't start watering and fertilizing. That now you built the habit because you have to do those things every day. That's the only way you're going to continue to grow. You seeing the growth. You seeing yourself poke up through the soil. Right? But guess what? Here come the bugs again. Right? Distractions. Different people who in your life don't need to be. Different things you go through every day. Stress, anxiety. Right? You got to clear it out. If you want to continue to grow, you got to clear it out. So guess what? Now we're growing a little bit more. Okay, now we're starting to see the leaves. All right, now we're taking in sunlight. Okay, we're really feeling ourselves. We're really, okay, moving on along. Continuously water, continue the fertilizer, getting rid of the bugs. Right, we're moving along. Right, stay consistent. Stay with good habits. Stay consistent. Guess what? All right, now we're starting to see some flowers. You know what that means next, right? We about to get rid of fruit. Okay. But guess what? Now, here come the bugs again. But now these bigger bugs. We ain't talking about the little bugs. We're talking about bigger bugs that's coming to try to take your plant, to knock you off your harvest even before you get a chance. Now, you need maybe some bug spray, or if you want to keep it cleaner, you got to find some natural ways to clean that out. Maybe a heavy windstorm came through, heavy rains, maybe a drought came through. Right? It's always going to be something that's trying to stop us from growing. But you have to stay consistent. You got to keep your eye on it. You got to baby it. You got to make sure it's growing the right way. And it's not having to compete with other plants inside that garden. All right, you got to stay locked in on what you're trying to grow. All right. So now you consistently stay with it. And guess what? Now you're starting to see fruits. The flower got a chance to make it through all the heavy wind and rains and droughts. We made it. Now it's starting to fruit. And so when you relate it back to yourself, the work you put in with building your foundation, doing the things every day to stay consistent, building good habits, right? Maybe going to the gym, putting the right information in you for what you're trying to do to be successful, right? Hitting the gym, eating right, taking care of your body, mind, and spirit. Right, now you're starting to fruit. Everything's starting to come to fruition. But guess what? Here they come again. So it's a non-stop cycle. And guess what? Now that you've made it to harvest, it's time to do it again next season. It don't stop. And so whatever you're trying to be successful with, just look at it like a garden. It starts from the foundation. Make sure you got the right soil, right? Making sure you watering it, fertilizing it, watching it, babying it, right? Getting rid of the bugs around that want to attack it and take it out before you get to see the harvest. It's the same setting. Maybe I'll talk about another video even about what you grow. Because different things you grow have a certain lifespan and a certain time frame. And let's say you grow a certain plant, it may only feed you. Right? When you look at people that's successful, I don't know, let's use Jeff Bezos. Right? He created Amazon. he might have grew a tree. Guess what? That tree it take a long time for that tree to grow, but the harvest is so much. It could have been like an apple tree or something versus a tomato plant. Tomato plant, may feed you for a few people, maybe just yourself. But an apple tree, a large apple tree that's been around for years, how long it take to grow and then harvest, but it gives to so many. So it's the same concept. Growth, right? Are you changing the relationship with yourself through growth? Are you looking at the changes as you going through the process of gardening? Your own garden, right? Are you doing the things? Do you got the right tools to even start gardening? Do you know how to harvest it? Do you understand the season you in? It may not be the right time to plant that particular plant. It may be in the wrong season. You might have planted it in the wrong spot. It ain't getting the right sunlight. You might have overwatered it. You might have went away too long from it, took your eye off of it. You come back to let the bugs get to it. Or maybe you didn't water it in time. Now it don't die. So you have to change the relationship with yourself, which is growth. You have to change and watch and understand the changes through the process that you're doing. So that's why I love gardening too. It just, you see life, you see the whole process of life in it. And you understand how I kind of articulated it today. It just it's very deep. It's very deep. And like I said, so many aspects of life you can relate to gardening. Like I said, just even like patience, like understanding how long things take to come to fruition, take for things to go from seed to harvest, and just the different plants and the time is deep. And so you just relate that with anything in life, anything that you're trying to accomplish. It takes time, but also it's a process. So yeah, growth, understanding changes in yourself, how to change the relationship with yourself, is you got to understand growth and how everything works. But I hope I explained that in a way that it kind of connected with you. Drop a comment below. I definitely want to hear what season you guys are in. If you really understood the metaphor I put with the gardening and yourself from seed to harvest and different things, the process of it with yourself and how it relates. And like the video. Share it with somebody who may need to start their harvest, start their garden. All right. But hey, man, I really, really appreciate y'all. Like I said, we consistently keep it growing. Again, the views keep going up, and I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. Until next time, see y'all tomorrow. I'm out.